All in all, we have 1,300 realtors, close approximately 6,000 transactions every year, over $2 billion in sales. We were ranked nationally number 87 out of 106,000 real estate firms in the United States. These are my current challenges. Improve realtor retention. If I look back at the last 11 years of the company, we started in 2014, my overall retention was 21%. However, the last couple of years has been brutal. The first couple of years I used to brag that our retention rate is 7%, and then it turned into 8%. And the bigger we got, I started to feel like it became a little bit more of a revolving door, where this year particularly, we've brought on about 298 agents so far. We've lost 285. So it's one in, one out, one in, one out. So retention's massive. I believe that one of the things that we're gonna do this year is to really improve our onboarding. I think that getting the agents in line with who we are within the first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days is gonna be a massive improvement in retention. We still have, if agents don't know what tools we have to offer and they're having a hard time maneuvering the systems and software, it's really easy for them to leave.
Is it an industry issue? Like, is this happening everywhere?
Oh, dude.
The industry,
21% attrition rate is actually low.
yeah, it's actually 33%.
It's 33% is the average.
But my concern is if I took it in just a 1 year period, we're almost 1-to-1 right now. And I want to improve that. And I think we can with the right tips. And we'll go back.
Can I jump in on the retention?
Yep.
Well, so one of the things that we did a long time ago is we implemented just something to think about. We implemented a pod system where we have mentors that take all agents that come in that are new, right?
Yep.
And so they're kind of responsible for them. And then we spent, $8,000 or $10,000 on, we hired a consultant to do an onboarding, and I'll give you ours.
Fantastic.
But I mean, it's what, 140 pages?
It's like 163.
See, he's the COO. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
But so what happens is when someone comes in, our recruiter and the mentor follow the onboarding to a T. Like it says, this is how you use the fucking printer.
Yeah.
This is where you go take a shit.
And we don't have that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I will just tell you is, and this is for everybody in anything that you do, how you bring people in is also how they leave you.
100%.
And so it's like, do they have a space? Do they, are they going into an office? Who are they sitting next to? Is all their shit turned on? Do they have an email?
Yep.
The smallest things for everybody just to think about, and think about this because this will make you mentally go through your process. When you hire somebody new and they come to your organization, the biggest fear is, did they make the right decision? Did they make the right decision to come work for you? And so there are all the things that you would think that are little, like, oh shit, we forgot to, this or we forgot to that. Then they're already running in their head like, fuck man, maybe I made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
So what we did was, and I'll give you ours so you don't have to go through it.
Thank you.
And then you take your process, is the consultant made us go through every fucking thing. Well, when somebody comes in, what happens? Do they know how to use the remedial shit?
Yep.
But it makes such a difference of how they feel when they come in.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And the stickiness to stay. And then the mentor thing that we figured out, him and I can't be everywhere all the time. Mm-hmm. It's just impossible. So they come in, they have a mentor, and we mirrored this from Special Forces in the military, because I think they got it figured out pretty well. So we have pods, and then we have a pod leader, and then they run with them for a certain period of time. And then we reward them from a piece of their transaction.
Okay.
And then after that, they always are connected to that pod leader, but then they can kind of go off on their own. And those two things really helped us with retention and people coming in.
Do you monetize? I mean, does the pod leader get paid in any capacity?
Yeah, they get a piece of their first three transactions. Even if they're already an established agent, we'll still put them with a pod leader to make them learn the ropes of how we do stuff.
That's
awesome. I'll tell you, the other side of that too is now all those different agents go to their pod leader first. So if somebody's signing to one of us, it's the pod leader. It's not just that agent who just started or whatever who's walking around trying to figure out what the hell to do.
That's great.
I'm not dealing with any of that shit anymore.
Yep,
Yeah, if it gets to me or him, it's because it's really bad.
that's awesome.
I think, like, I owned a brokerage, shut it down, sold it, thank God. On the last bullet, like, I don't know how long it's been since you've read or listened to Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah,
But
I haven't.
That book just put me on a whole weird course last year, and I just love it. And I think, you know, if you really get back into the why behind, not you, but why these agents are there,
Yeah,
I'd love to see, like, you talk about revenue, but also retention. Things like lock boxes and signs in the yard.
small things, yeah.
But for the productive agents, it's like the chore.
Yeah,
And you've got all these other agents that may be struggling, right? Because volume's down, transactions
Yep.
are down. Like, create like an Uber type marketplace. Somebody came to me with the idea years ago. They call it signs and boxes, where basically agents could earn money for picking up signs and putting them out in the yard, picking up lot boxes, putting them out, at post-closing checklists, and then find ways, even if it doesn't add revenue to you, but it adds revenue to your agents and gives like this intrinsic value that you care about helping them make money in a down market. Like, to me, that just would be cool. Like,
Yep.
you've got a new agent struggling to get by, but really successful team, and they can get paid $25 to go put a sign in the yard, right?
Yeah.
Or to put out the open house signs. You know, like all these little menial chores that the really successful people don't
Don't
want
wanna
to
do.
do. But it could get experience and reps for the younger agents, and you could wrap technology around it.
Yep.
It could be part of the monthly fee. I mean, you know, like, I don't know.
That's a great
like,
idea.
It sounds cool, and it sounds like a way to like put money in their pocket,
Yep.
which makes them happier, which makes them thank you for that, which keeps them around. And then it's not transactional, because you wrote it's transactional.
Yep.
Well, that last one here is basically just me after getting my face kicked in with these class action lawsuits, and I'm beyond that. I'm still working on it, but mentally I'm beyond that. You know, I've lost a little bit of passion where the agents, it's been transactional, and ever since COVID, we've done Zooms and we weren't doing live events, and you know, and I believe that actually goes hand in hand with agent retention. So since November 1st, I put a massive emphasis of doing live trainings again. For example, next Monday when I get back into Florida, I've got 5 live trainings in a matter of 7 days. And what I found is part of our retention and the reason why we were churning so many agents was they didn't have any relationship with me. If you look at the first 6 years, 7 years, these were lifers. Why? We had movie nights, we had networking events, we had happy hours. We stopped doing that when COVID happened. And now I got to get back to basics and start building those relationships, so it's a little bit more difficult for them to depart the company.
Before you say something, one thing I want to mention, just thinking out loud, I mean, you're in this room, right?
Yep.
So one of the things that we've done, and I know this would take some work for you guys to figure it out, but so, you know, we have a huge off-market business.
Yep.
All of our agents can buy a property off-market through us. So when you talk
That's
about,
massive.
when, you know, back to the commoditized conversation, right? When you talk about, you know, look, if it were about split, someone would come out with one model, pay the highest split, and everybody would work there. It's just, that's not what it fucking is.
Yeah.
So one of the things we do is we teach them how to invest in real estate.
Yep.
Hey, I want to teach you how to
talked
become
about
a
that,
fucking multimillionaire.
Yep.
And then the flip side of that is not only do we teach them, we lend them the fucking money to go buy it. So it's like, hey, when an agent wants to come have an uncomfortable conversation with us about split, and I'm like, hey, I can appreciate where you're coming from, but you made $120,000 last year off of the properties we funded for you that you bought. And then it creates this stickiness. And then when I'm talking to a recruit and they're like, well, what do you know, well, what about my split? And I say, well, what if I can put $150,000 in
Yep.
your pocket every year of buying real estate and then put 7 figures net worth in your pocket from teaching you how to invest in real estate? And no one else is doing that or talking about that. So,
No,
and you're in this fucking room with
100%.
the baddest motherfuckers that can teach you how to do it.
Just the fact that you just said the off-market listings, having 1,300 agents.
That's
if
what
I
I'm
got
saying.
every wholesale in the room and said, get me on your list for all properties in Florida, as an example, and we condensed it and I sent it out to the agents every Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and that was exclusive to them, that's massive.
Yeah, and
That
I
is
mean,
massive.
just if you think about where you've done like MVP title,
Yeah.
MVP health,
Yep.
like, hey, MVP fucking real estate investing,
Yep.
and you build that out. I mean, because look, you got access to the baddest motherfuckers in the world.
100%.